Let's record. Okay, hi everyone. It's Monday, September 3rd, beginning of the fall season. This is an amazing opportunity the next 4 months to really grow our businesses and to head into 2019. It sounds so weird to say that we're already planning for that, with just huge momentum. And you guys, the neat thing about getting into momentum is there's just this flow that actually is more effortless than what it takes to get into momentum. But a lot of times people, they stop before they get into that momentum that just becomes, easy. So I'm going to make a few announcements, but I'm really excited to dive into our topic today about how team equals your dream, and to really help paint a vision and give some practical steps on how to grow your team. Even if you're a team on one, how to add team and how to grow it. So let's start with some announcements. First of all, a lot's happening in the Arbonne world with products. And so there's some new product packages. There's the fall ASVP with the chai protein powder and the new apple bars. I wish I could tell you I've tried them. I haven't, but I heard that they're good. I was in Green Bay at the VP retreat last weekend with Carrie Woods and Shanna Argote and Kim. And I went a day early to Donna Johnson's cabin with about 30 NVPs. And so one of them had said that she had gotten them and tried them and that they were really good. But what else? The 6 lip duos. Oh, those are amazing. So I have one of them on. One side goes on matte. The other side is a gloss. Those are incredible. Two new oils, essential oils for the fall, an evergreen oil and another one that I believe helps with the immune system. I need to look into it a little bit more. And so there's that, and then there's the holiday package. And so we're going to talk more about holiday in the coming months. You can talk to your upline about that as well. The one thing I want to say is holidays fun because it's new. We don't want that to break our focus as far as what really grows our team. And so we're going to be talking about that as well. But I went on and ordered a bunch of holiday products, and I'm excited to try them. Okay, couple other quick announcements, and the first one is really timely. The VPs in Green Bay were given an opportunity to take a really unique assessment before we went there, and then one of our trainings was on the assessment that we took. It's called Strength Scope, and it's used globally. And what it does, because I've taken, and some of you that are watching, you may have taken tons of personality profiles and things like that. I haven't done them all. I was going to say I've done them all, but I've done a lot of them in the last 25 years. This assessment, Strength Scope, measures your energy intelligence. So what areas of your strengths produce energy and what areas are depleting? And I originally thought this assessment was like $300 and we got a $50 price. I know that until the end of tomorrow, they've opened it up for anyone else that wants to take it for $50. And then after that, it's going to be $98. So I'm not sure if that $98 is a special Arbonne discount, but there will be a webinar that's free on Wednesday night to learn more about it. And as long as you pay by tomorrow, the $50, you don't have to take it tomorrow, but just pay by tomorrow. But I would take it right away. It takes 25 minutes. And it was so fun to look at Shanna and Kim and Carrie's energy strengths and look at my own. And the biggest aha I had is just because you're good at something, just because you have a specific strength doesn't mean that strength gives you energy. For instance, I can make a flyer and I can do a pretty good job. But I've realized that things like that deplete my energy, and I actually don't have fun doing the business, doing things like that. Some people that fires up and they do have fun. Another thing that's really cool is it shows how your strengths in overdrive can actually be detrimental, or they can be a weakness. So for instance, one of my strengths is courage, another is risk taking, and I'm pretty high. It's not the highest, but I'm pretty high in resilience. Well, in overdrive, not tempered, that can be a recipe for losing your shorts, taking risks and investments, because, hey, I'm courageous and I'm willing to take a risk and I'm resilient, I can bounce back. And so if you don't temper that strength in the sweet spot, and if you allow it to go into overdrive, it actually can cause harm. So another strength that somebody could have is collaboration. Well, that in overdrive, if you're not using it well, if you're using it too much, you might turn things over all the time to other people when you really could make some good decisions yourself. Does that make sense? It really is amazing, you guys. It doesn't just help in business, it helps in life. And I'm really excited to even learn more. It's kind of put a skip in my step as far as my business goes as well, to see the areas that I really want to excel in. And I'll just share authentically. When I saw courage was one of my energy strengths, I was like, really? Because there are times when I don't feel courageous. And then I focus on those times and I'm like, what's your problem? Are you living in fear? And, I may, shame myself subconsciously for that and not focus on all the times when I have been courageous. I mean, I walked up to a US president and gave him some advice once. That's courageous. And I literally had to see that and go, Jody, you are courageous. And so if anything, this can remind you of who you are, but the things that actually give you energy. And I love seeing, oh my gosh, I get energy when I actually take courage and I step up. So I would love to have all of us take this and learn more about those areas that give you energy, because you guys, this business is more effortless when we're living in our energy intelligence, the things that wake us up and don't drain us. And sometimes when we think, oh, I just can't do more in my business and I don't think I can get to this level, well, it's because you think you have to do more of what depletes you. And that's not necessarily the case. And it's going to help us all collaborate as we find our strength. So I kind of talked a little long on that, but I do think it's important. Another thing is the 90-day boot camp that Richard Brooke did. I think that 90% of the people that went through it said it was spectacular. And he's just brilliant. He's a brilliant businessman. He's always looking to add value. And so what he's done, and those of you that were on Donna Johnson's Go for the Gold call on Saturday know this, is the Facebook page that all of us who were a part of his 90-day group are in already. And if you're in it, you will stay in it. That's going to be open till December. He is allowing new people to join that group for $197. And the great thing is he's edited all of the trainings to take out. We had contests and things like that during it, where he'd spend time, interviewing the person that won the contest, and some of that may still be in it, but describing the contest and how it works. He's taken all of that out. So there are 13 trainings that he did for us that are all phenomenal. I'm going to refer to a couple tonight, but there is so much more. For $197, just getting his training on listening through objections, I personally think it was worth that for me. You also get 10 books of Mach 2 with your hair on fire. I'm sorry, not 10 Mach 2. You get 10 for your career books, and they're typically $10 each, so it's a $100 value. Remember, it's a write-off. Anyway, it's something you can talk to your upline about that was a part of it. But if you're looking to grow your team, I just think this is a real integral part of that. And it will just light you up and inspire you, and I feel help give you just some wisdom, which kind of can give you courage, encourage you to do what some of the things that you may already know you need to be doing. So I recommend that. So Strength Scope, that's through tomorrow. The $50 fee. When I post this replay, I will post information about that as well as the Richard Brooks deal. And that's kind of it for now. Okay, so let's talk about team equals your dream. And by the way, this is a training for those of you who want to promote to area manager and beyond. Those of you that want to develop an asset income. You want this business to provide freedom so you can live life the way you choose. And for those of you that aren't there, that's okay. There's so many other ways to build this business, and it's our business, right? We're the CEO of our own business, so you're still going to pick up some great things here. But I'm assuming because you're on this call, whether it's live or a replay, that you're in that position that you've seen that this is a better way. As Eric Worre says, hey, there are a lot of, great things out there. This isn't perfect, but this is a better way than most, that you can invest your time, learn skills, and you can reach out to other people to join you in a mission of gaining freedom and choices in your life and to be healthier on the inside and out. And so, I'm assuming that all of you aren't looking for another job. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, is creating this asset or residual income versus just another job where we're trading time for money. And when we think of that, I was thinking about people that are very successful in life, that they're living life the way they choose, different definition of success for everyone. And I was thinking about the fact that we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And really how we spend that time really is what determines our results. Okay, for instance, someone can spend the next 4 years working in a coal mine. Okay, and I'm not bashing working in a coal mine, it's a choice. Or somebody can go to Harvard and spend 4 years, where they can get into a top law school or a medical school and work towards their dreams. As far as our business goes, somebody can spend 4 years pursuing college and end up with a degree that they don't necessarily use, or they could spend 4 years growing a network marketing business. I mean, it's all a choice. And really, lately, I've developed a habit of exchanging the word time with life. Like, oh, am I wasting time? Am I wasting life? Because time really is life. How am I spending my time? I really want to maximize my time. Well, why don't you replace it with, how am I spending my life? I really want to maximize my life. I mean, that really kind of shows us how important time is in the way we spend it. So when we look at this fall and we look at the next 4 months and we decide, how do I want to spend the next 4 months? Because really, how we choose to spend our life in the next 4 months is going to be the greatest determining factor of what we see January 1st in our business. Okay. And so, we can be organizing our desks and listening to just listening to training calls like crazy, and selling product, or we can be connecting, inviting, presenting, and sponsoring, which is really all of that equals recruiting a team. Okay. And so that's what I want to just start with, is the first thing on having our team equal our dream. Because let's face it, if you want to do $40,000 a month in volume, it's not impossible, but it would take a very long time and a ton of time per day to get to that point. 40,000 in volume, just you sharing information about the product. It would take a long time. But when you recruit 4 people to spread the news about Arbonne, to join you in this mission to help people find freedom and choices in their life and to be healthier on the inside and out, to transform their life, right? And to live their best life. When you decide that you're going to find 4 people who are serious, and on the way you're going to find customers and you're going to teach them to do the same thing, the difference in time, it's not even worth talking about, because doing 40,000 on your own is almost next to impossible. And on this Go for the Gold call this weekend, Richard Brooke talked about that. Again, this legacy company that we're in, where the products are so incredible, that our company's around after going through some turbulent times. And it's around because of our culture, because of our people, and because our products are so great. But what happens when you have products that are so great, we tend to focus on them too much. And we miss the opportunity to spend our time on what's going to produce the most results. Again, we all have the same 24 hours. So some people in Arbonne spend their time just talking about products. Some talk about products and a little bit about the business, and some are very intentional. And that's my first point, is to build a team, we need to stay focused on recruiting, okay? And in order to do that, there's 3 points that we're going to talk about, and that is embracing the no, being intentional, and embrace the no, be intentional, and go. That's take action, okay? And I'm just going to see who is unmuted really quickly. It is a cell phone. Oops, I guess we have another one. All righty. Okay. So let's start about staying focused on recruiting. Now, let's face it, you guys, even our success plan, it talks about volume first. When I say, what does it take to go area? You would say 10,000 a month, 3 months in a row, or 24,000 in 2 months. What does it take to go region? 40,000. It's focused on volume. It doesn't say you have to have this many people sponsored, okay? So we tend to focus on volume. And even, with the holiday coming up, some people are thinking, okay, what companies can I talk to that can give gifts, the holiday products to their employees, okay? How can I boost volume? That is a part of our business. We promote to the next level based on volume. The thing is, though, is that's okay to do as long as our main focus, we keep the main thing, and that's sharing the opportunity and recruiting business partners, because that volume isn't going to be sustainable come January 1st, okay? Unless we're intentional and we work through the process by meeting people. We use it as almost a way to connect with people. Does that make sense? So they can hear about our opportunity. They can hear about the products we have year-round, become loyal customers. So some people might have trouble with the recruiting verbiage. I've heard it said, and Richard has said this, hey, we're recruiters who recruit people who recruit. And some people are like, gosh, that sounds a little harsh. That's not Arbonne. We have heart. We care about people. Well, I looked up the definition of recruit, and in Webster's dictionary, it says to find suitable people and get them to join a company or an organization. To find suitable people, right? So, hey, that lives up to our definition. The business dictionary says the process of finding and hiring the best qualified candidate from within or outside an organization. And definitely, you guys, we can prospect from within our organizations. We have customers that are just waiting for us to call them and share our vision about what this business could do for them. So the process of finding and hiring the best qualified candidate for a job opening in a timely and cost-effective manner. I like that. So we are recruiters. And, Catherine Lutz, who I consider one of my mentors, we had a really great discussion this summer, and I was talking to her about some things I was working on, some processes, some tools, and she said, Jody, I want to remind you of something. And this hit me like a ton of bricks. She said, it's not what you bring to the table, it's who you bring to the table. So it's not how great that flyer looks. It's have you talk to the next person who's going to join your team. And of course, we want nice flyers and things like that. But I've gotten in the habit before of focusing too much on the process, too much on tools, and forgetting that our number one, the main thing is recruiting people. And that's just something that we all need to remember. Okay. So how do we do that? the three things that we're going to talk about: embrace the no, be intentional, and go. We're going to talk about some action that you can take right now to spend our time, to spend our life these next 4 months and maximize the return that we can get on it, the difference that we can make. Okay, if you're spending time doing Arbonne anyway, why not make the time the most valuable it can be so that you can get the best results? And so I can get the best results. So this is, I just kind of re-listened to one of Richard Brooks' trainings on listening through objections. And he made a statement here. Now, this is a man who has been in the industry for over 40 years. He owned a company for, 35 years, maybe 40 years, and just sold it. He was the head of the ethics department of the Direct Selling Association. He's written many books. He's married now to the top income earner in another company. Why do I say all this? He knows what he's talking about. And this is an interesting statement. He says, do you want to make $10,000 a month or more in this business? Learn to love objections. Okay, learn to love the no. And so I'm starting with this before I get into be intentional and what it takes, because I think this is so important. Many people are controlled by fear of rejection. And I want to dispel that whole notion that a no is even rejection. We've talked about it before, but I'm hoping tonight, whenever you're listening, that something will click and this will really resonate with you. One thing that he talks about is, let's be glad that people say no. Let's be glad that people have questions and objections, because if they didn't, we wouldn't be needed. He said, literally, I see this as objections create our opportunity. And so if Arbonne just put a banner and said, sign up here, and people did it, they wouldn't need us, right? And you guys, a lot of people quit because they don't know how to handle people not saying yes right now. And so then that opens the market up for people like you and me who are willing to be patient, who are willing to be farmers and not hunters, okay? Who are willing to take a process and understand that the immediate no doesn't necessarily mean no forever. So we need to understand their no. And Richard talks about the law of the Eskimo, or the law of distinction. And I really recommend you going in and re-listening to this if you have already, or joining and listening to it the first time. It's just gold. And he says, when you look at an Eskimo, and you look at us, especially me living in Phoenix, it doesn't snow. I've got to drive to Flagstaff to see snow. I have pretty much one distinction for snow. It's cold. And it's white when it stacks up on the ground, okay? And it's wet when it melts. But Eskimos have 17 different distinctions. Like, they can tell based on the temperature, how cold it was when the snow froze and how it's going to affect their process of, living. They have 17 different ways to look at the snow that's falling, because it's not all the same. And so Richard encourages us to have that same distinction with a no, because no means so many different things. There are some no's that mean never, some. But more often than not, they mean not now, or I just don't know enough, or I wish I could say yes right now, but I've got to say no because I've got to give an answer and just the timing's not right. And so developing the skill to understand what this means and to love the process, that actually helps give us courage to reach out to more people, understanding, hey, this is just part of the pipeline process. Some people think the pipeline is, asking somebody and we haven't heard back, but they're in the pipeline, or asking somebody to event and they couldn't come to that one. They're in the pipeline, so we can ask again. People can be in the pipeline that have already said no. And again, author, network marketing company owner, head of the ethics department of the DSA, married to the #1 income earner in another company, says your no's will become your best prospects on your prospect list. And so I encourage you to listen more about why, but I'm just going to mention a couple things. I love it. He says, when somebody says no, honor it, but don't believe it. What does that mean? You don't want to make them feel wrong or stupid. I loved his example. I don't have enough time. Oh, really? Well, you sleep for 8 hours and you work for 8 hours. You have an extra 8 hours. How often do you watch TV? You know, you told me about that Netflix series that you watched. You know, I know how many episodes that was. That was 72 hours. What if you put that into doing business? You do have time. Okay. We really want to make people feel safe with us. And so we don't want them to feel wrong or stupid, obviously. And this kind of goes against what I've learned in the past about overcoming objections and trying to close people. You know, Richard talks about how we don't close people, we open them up. How do we open them up? By helping them feel safe and comfortable around us. And so we honor the no by embracing it and letting them know that we hear them. We can empathize and we're listening for how they feel. When they say they don't have time or money, I love it. Richard's like, of course they have money. They probably just bought something stupid for $500 recently. Or, you know, they probably just bought an iPhone in the last couple of weeks. They just don't see it's as important enough, but you're not going to tell them that. You're going to empathize and more listen to how they feel. It doesn't feel good to not have money or time, right? It doesn't feel good to be in that situation. So we embrace it. We understand. We let them know that we hear it, but we're not buying it. We don't believe it. Just like when I sit down with a prospect and they're like, oh, just to let you know up front, business isn't for me. I let them know, hey, I want you to know I hear you, but I want to ask your permission. Do you mind if I share it with just as much fervor as I would any other person? One, I just can't help it because I have such belief. Two, you might think of somebody. And three, this happens oftentimes that it's really your paradigm. What you think the business is causing you to think it's not for you. And your paradigm might change. I don't know, it might not. But do you mind if I share it the same way? Yes, I don't mind at all. Okay, I just want you to know I heard that you said that. So we want to empathize that that's how they feel, but not necessarily believe. So when somebody says, oh, this business isn't for me, I believe that they feel that way, but I don't believe that it's not for them. Does that make sense? So anyway, he goes on 7 different ways to listen through objections and 7 different ways to kind of honor the no. And I love the third one is define the objection. When somebody says, I don't have money to start this, one thing to say is, well, oh, I'm just curious, how much do you think it costs? They could say $5,000. Oh, wow. You know, it's a lot less than that. So you can listen to the rest of that on that. But I just want to, Shanna, who's our guest tonight, to share a great example of patience and embracing the no, but not buying into it and making somebody feel comfortable enough and being patient enough and not being a hunter where, okay, I couldn't kill it and drag it home. So I'm done. I'm going to pack up my gun and go home. No, understanding this is a process of building relationships and having people trust us. And by the way, before your example, that's why Richard says that no list can be our best prospect, because they've already experienced our authenticity. They've already had a positive experience of us hearing them. And they already know what we do. And so when we go back to them at another time after asking permission, then, there's a greater example. They'll join us because they already trust us. And so I just think this example that Shanna is going to share will really help with that.
Hey, thanks, Jody. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, okay, this was just kind of a fun example, and it hasn't turned out exactly how I would have hoped for it, but that doesn't mean long-term it's not right. And it really helped just everything Jody was just saying, just having a different mindset that really and truly, if we're going to meet someone new, maybe it's not for our bond. Maybe it's for something else. Maybe it's because they have parenting issues. Maybe they just need a friend. Maybe I don't know, maybe God just literally put us in their path for that moment. I'm not for sure. But we were actually in Green Bay on our VP retreat, leadership retreat, and had gone out to dinner with a bunch of us. Waitress was cute as ever, so cute. Her name was Allison. And we left, and then it was kind of like, okay, we need to go back and get her number at least and talk to her. So I went back, couldn't find her. All those stories that go on when I was standing in the middle of this restaurant looking for sweet Allison. She wasn't showing up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to turn around. I mean, I was sitting there, but Jody had walked in back with me and had gone to the restroom, and I thought, I cannot tell Jody I did not sit here and try to find this girl. So I stayed there, and I stayed there. Finally, she came back out. And I said, hi. I said, Allison, first of all, I just want you to thank you for a great night. You were such a great waitress for us. And I just have a question. Do you keep your options open for extra income? And her eyes lit up, and she goes, yes. And I just kind of touched her shoulder, which is kind of weird for me. I don't normally get that close into someone's space, but it's like that's the kind of girl she was. I wanted to give her a hug. Well, long story short, she asked me if I had a business card. I said, well, can I just get your number? I'll text you right now, and then we can communicate when maybe we can set a time to talk. Well, long story short in that, we played text back and forth that was Saturday. We text back and forth Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And we were going to talk, and then she had a double. Then she got sick. I mean, all the stuff that happens, right, when you feel like you have a great prospect. And then she said, we were texting, I said, hey, just hope you're feeling better. Let's catch up when we can. And she texted me and said, by the way, my stepfather is wondering, I told him about you, and he's wondering, what kind of company is this? Can I have your website? Well, I didn't want to give her my website because I love Arbonne, but I don't think our website doesn't share what I wanted to share, right? And but it was hard because I wanted to be honest with her. So what I did is I sent her 2 small videos, 2-minute videos. And then I said, and by the way, this is such a small snapshot of Arbonne. And really, it's so much more than this. And there's so many ways to be a part of Arbonne. And I just really love to set that time so we could talk on the phone. She emails me back or texts me back and says, wow, I'm really flattered. Because I said some other things just about her. And she said, I'm really flattered, but this is crazy. I actually use Arbonne products. And I've been asked to do Arbonne before. But I'm not a salesperson. And she said, but I feel very flattered by your, messages. Well, in the past, honestly, guys, there would have been a time where I would have just said, fine. I would have said, hey, thanks, great, good luck, and called it a day. And I thought, I am not stopping there because that would have been just taking a no, which she doesn't really know, right? And so what I decided to do was to actually leave her a voice text because I thought I cannot communicate what I want to communicate with her. And so what I said was, Allison, you know what? If 2 other people have told you about Arbonne as a business and then I approached you, I said, that you need to understand, when we are trained to look for sharp, relatable, fun, outgoing, energetic people. You clearly fit that if we are all looking and wanting to talk to you about this business. And I said, by the way, I would love to chat with you. And I also I talked about being a salesperson. I said, I'm not a salesperson. I'm passionate about our products, and I'm really more passionate about this opportunity because this could change other people's lives. And that's what motivates me to talk to people and share. So and I said, we sell to our kids, we sell to our parents, we sell to our friends all the time, our opinions. So if you're thinking of it, yes, in many ways I do talk about my opinion of Arbonne to many people. I said, but I just want you to know, even if you just need a friend, if you need a mentor, because she was a lot younger than me, anything like that, I would love to chat with you. Let's get connected on Facebook and let's stay in touch. And then she didn't respond to me. So then I was, of course, going, great. My old channel would have said, drop it. I just left her this heartwarming, voice text. She didn't. And so next day, I just texted again because I wanted to keep the conversation going. And I just said, hey, by the way, did you get my voice text? Just want to confirm it went through. Well, yes, was it this morning, actually? She wrote me like 4 different texts saying, thank you so much. I do want to talk to you. I'm really busy right now, but in the next few weeks, let's get in touch. I really would love to chat with you on the phone. So that's where it is right now. It may not go anywhere, but you know what? I feel really proud that I've kind of walked the process. And that's really what I want to, just as I'm continuing to learn and understand, like Jody and what Richard Burke's been teaching us, just that importance of doing the process, not being so stuck on the no and feeling all, quote, rejected about it. So that's my story, Jody.
Great. Well, and just really, oh, that's nice. Royce is cheering you on, Shanna.
Thanks, Royce.
And okay, just a couple quick things. You know, we shouldn't assume, never assume. So just because she's using the products, she could have got them at an auction, a charity auction, you know, a year ago, and she uses them every 3 days. And, you know, and she could have been approached by 2 other people she doesn't know. We assume, oh, she already is somebody's PC and they, you know, whatever, 2 other best friends have asked her and she'd of course go with them. So I'm not even going to spend my time. When we look at time, it's funny when something negative happens or we perceive it to be negative, I think we blow it up. So let's think about it, Shanna. How much time total from you walking to the restaurant, asking her, do you keep your options open, and getting her number, and then texting and leaving the voice text, would you say that took total?
Probably about 5 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, realistically.
Yes. And
because
so,
it's like a minute in the restaurant and a minute voice text, and then I texted in between. So not very long.
So, I mean, there are times it's kind of like, I don't want to waste my time. Well, really, is it going to be that big of a deal? Now you've got a foot in the door with a captive audience, you know, and it's true that you can connect and, you know, let's say that she does have a best friend. You can encourage her to go with them.
Absolutely.
Right? And then it's great practice. The point is if you keep doing this, you will find the person that responds, you know? Yeah. And so I just want to encourage everyone. You know, it's so funny. I did a personal call with Richard once, and I forgot what we were talking about, but he's like, it's kind of like sometimes with your team, you can tell them something over and over, but sometimes they just need to get their nose bloodied a little bit to learn themselves. And I mean, you could say that about me with my sponsor, right? And it's kind of the same thing, you guys, in our business. The best way we learn is by doing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So going through what Shanna did, any of us can do that, you guys, anyone. But you're going to learn so much in the process, making a great practice of it. Shanna, can we share your other example on the next call?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, thank you. That was great. Appreciate your example and looking forward to, you know, hearing how it goes. I'm glad that you made a new friend. Okay, so the second thing that, you know, when we talk about embrace the no, okay? The second thing we want to talk about is be intentional. You guys, this business doesn't happen by accident. You know, I know that's kind of a duh, I knew that, but I really want to tell you that any national vice president they are where they are because there was some major intention put behind their business. They didn't just get lucky. People didn't just come up and ask them to join. I mean, it happens once in a blue moon. But, you know, what do I mean by this? You know, I heard on a call, Dr. Laura Fortner, who's a friend of mine, she's an OB. Well, she was one. Now she has the freedom to volunteer her time and do medical mission trips and things like that. But she has 4 little kids. They're a little older. They were little when she started. Her husband was a stay-at-home dad when she started, okay? And so she said that her secret weapon was when she did a group presentation and she spotted the person in the room that she was attracted to as far as, you know, that ace that she's looking for. And of course, you guys, we never know. We never know what's going to happen. But their success does leave clues. And there are certain characteristics that we can look for. For instance, likability is a must. If somebody's not likable, pretty hard for them to grow a large team. You know, things like that. People that have a good attitude and are cheerful and who have a desire and a why and all of that. But when you find somebody, you know, in the room and you ask them, so her secret weapon isn't just saying, we should have coffee. You'd be great in this business. I'd love to share with you why, and, expand upon what I already shared tonight about how this can transform your life. Her secret weapon is when that person says no, calling them back within 24 hours. She makes it a practice within 24 hours to call them and say, hey, it's me. Remember last night I asked you and you said no, you weren't interested. I just wanted to ask again, are you sure? Because I woke up this morning with you on my mind and heart. And I just really think that you'd be amazing. And I just thought I'd just give you another chance, to take 20 or 30 minutes to hear a little bit more, to see if it's something that now or in the future could really make a difference in your life. She calls that her secret weapon. And to me, that means she's had a lot of success. I don't know the numbers. I'll call her and talk to her personally about that. But you guys, that's being intentional with recruiting. Sometimes people wonder, gosh, why is everyone else getting, business partners and I haven't yet? Are you doing things like that? When you present one-on-one, do you call and lead with the business? When you're presenting in a group, do you talk about the business, before? Do you mention it? Do you mention it, during? Do you close with it? It doesn't mean that if somebody else hosts a healthy happy hour that you're going to do a bait and switch and do a full DA. But have you even thought about how you can plant seeds that really create curiosity and encourage people to just take a look? I like to say at the end, if you're 1% curious, do yourself a favor and just find out more. There's no commitment in being curious. But I want to tell you that this could be something that literally changes the trajectory of your life. It's worth finding out more. So, are you sharing the whole Arbonne story? At every presentation, making sure people have an opportunity. Do you track and follow through with the people you meet? We have a tracker that I use and the people I work with directly use. Talk to your sponsor about the tracker they may use, but it's basically a prospect tracker from inviting them to, did they attend something in person, a Facebook Live? Did I send them any videos? Did I give them a book or another tool? All of those exposures, did I ask them to host? Did they sign up? It's just check marks. Did they get a special value pack? If so, which one? Did they place a personal order? Did they join my team? Did I ask them if I can follow up with them again in the next couple months? Gosh, you guys, being intentional is when somebody says no, saying, hey, I know timing's everything. What do you think about me keeping in touch with you to see if anything changes in the next couple months? Most people will say, sure. Again, the no's are the best ones on the prospect list. So do you track and then follow through with every person? Another way of being intentional, you have a top contact that just timing's not right now. Richard Brooke kind of calls this leapfrogging, and he has a whole training on it, and it'll be available in that Facebook page. But I was just talking to a business partner the other day that has a prospect that's been going through the process and just timing's not right. And I just said, what do you think about saying to her, I know timing's not right for you, but there are people that timing's right for. Let's pretend timing was right. And let's pretend you could wave a magic wand and the first 3 people you asked would join you. Who would your team people be? Guys, you want to get in front of those people. If you're struggling with a full list, if you're starting and you have a list of 50 prospects that are incredible on your own, you don't need to be building under somebody else right now. But if you're looking to add names to your list, you can work through people if you can't work with them right now. And you might meet somebody and you could say, hey, what do you think about this? Throw it out, you guys. It's worth asking. What do you think about calling those people and saying, hey, listen, I've been presenting with a phenomenal opportunity. I wish timing was right for me. It's not. But I started thinking about it, and I think this could be incredible for you. Would you just want to hear more about it and just share XYZ? And, my friend, would share a little bit more. And I think I'd be able to join you in maybe 6 months or something like that. So I'm just saying, are you intentional about thinking how you can work with and through, every person that you come in contact with? Do you have your list updated, the contact list? Okay. So we've talked about embrace the no, be intentional, and now this is go. This is go time. Okay, what do we do? And sometimes it's so fun to get trained on what to do and get excited, but then when it's go time, it's like, okay, I got to muster up the courage. You guys, this just do it. It's so much more fun doing Arbonne than thinking about it. And so the goal is to get in front of 30 to 40 people a month. There's a 40 Faces document. If you don't have it, talk to your upline. We can post it in Building People. But for people that want to run in this business, they want to go above area, develop that asset income, you're going to want to get in front of 30 to 40 people a month. Groups, one-on-ones, having 30 to 40 people hear the whole Arbonne story about the products and the opportunity. And so you want to set a plan with your sponsor and your upline about how to do that. Are you going to book 6 to 8 presentations this month? Reaching out to people to do the healthy living, having 5 people join our next one, which is in 2 weeks on the 17th. We open it in a week. And you can reach out, even based on products, some people that you've talked to before that has never done it, and plant the seed. I want to share with you more about this business. Things are, just exploding and growing like crazy. And by the way, you guys, I can't wait to share more about Jean David, our new CEO. We had an MVP breakout in Green Bay, and everyone was just in tears. We are so excited about him and just the person he is and how cool he is and where he's taking our company. So it's true. Things are poised to just really explode in our company. And scheduling a one-on-one with them or a Zoom, by yourself or with your upline, all of the different reach out methods. But get that document and make a commitment and tell your upline your commitment of how many people you're going to get in front of. Get the Arbonne story too. How many people you're going to share with this month with a focus on recruiting. Embracing the no and understanding that we need to be patient. We're farmers, and that's going to happen, and that's part of the process. And we may be adding the best people to our prospect list. It's not starting now. Being intentional with them and then just going for it. So I'm looking forward to hearing all of the activity that everyone's going to be in this month. And I want to thank all of you for joining us and just make it a phenomenal September, which is going to roll into an incredible rest of the fall. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.